I'm Stephen Meneses, and I'd like to welcome Patrick Starnes, independent candidate for Oregon Governor. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate coming.
What are your top 3 priorities for seniors and people with disabilities?
Well, healthcare, independence, and dignity, and I would say that as all of us depend on our greatest health. So that gives us, when we're in great health, that gives us strong independence. And with that independence, we gain a lot of good dignity in our lives.
Very good. If elected, what will you do as governor to ensure that we have transparency and accountability in Oregon's government, specifically in areas that impact seniors and people with disabilities?
Yeah, I'm the only candidate in the governor's race that's talking about campaign finance reform and also the transparency of where the funding comes from. I'm the only candidate that's limited my donations to $100 per person so that regular folks can donate to my campaign, even if it's less than 100. And the reason I'm role modeling campaign finance reform is because if we get big money out of politics, especially in healthcare, then we're going to have better services for our seniors, disabled, and even our kids,
Thank you for that. How would you prioritize state funding, including funding that is matched with federal funds, for services to an increasing senior and people with disabilities population?
Yeah, I'm a little cautious about the word prioritize, because usually that means, are you willing to cut one service in order to fund another service? So I'm dedicated to funding all services. And I understand that the Medicaid funding from the feds is going to be reduced over time. So we really have to step forward to get more funding, stable funding for healthcare and for seniors and disabled folks, along with our kids in schools.
Okay. What are your plans to improve vulnerable seniors and people with disabilities access to the nutritious food necessary for maintaining their health and independence?
Yeah, as you know, food and nutrition is the key to our health care, along with exercise and physical therapy. There's a lot of activities. Folks can do therapy in the pools, in swimming pools and stuff, even if they're disabled. And so health care is affected by our nutrition. So I'm completely dedicated to programs like Meals on Wheels and other nutritional formats for seniors. I'd like to see a farm to fork program where we have our local farmers in the communities helping feed our seniors and disabled with local nutritional food.
Okay. What has motivated you to run for governor?
Well, besides my over 10 years of volunteering on school boards, I've been elected 3 times to school boards over 10 years. I would have to say my mom is a big influence, and she worked for the Oregon State Department of Senior and Disabled Services, and my young nieces and nephews, so it spans many generations. And my mom was an eternal optimist. I'm getting a little emotional about it, talking about her, but she was an eternal optimist, and she's given me that kind of outlook that we can always do better in Oregon than where we were before. I'm a history major, so I know how terrible things have been, and I know how bright our future is by working together and cooperating together to make Oregon a great place for all vulnerable populations.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your interview.
We appreciate you being here and sharing your perspective.
I'm looking forward to talking to more of your allies.
Thank you. This is Patrick Starnes, independent candidate for Oregon Governor.